This is episode 101 of the Rhythm and Rhymes podcast. I'm your host, AJ Hughes, and my co host, Antonio Hughes, is not here right now. He went to Missouri to visit some family, so today I'm dolo. It's been a while since we had a dolo episode. Let's get into it real quick. I'm gonna start with new music. There was 3 songs that came out that I wanted to talk about. First, Skepta and Fred Again. They dropped yet another track. I have a feeling they're gonna drop a project together. That would be great because this song, just like the last one, was amazing. Back to back. I like Skepta on the house super busy beats. I don't really know how to describe them, but they're like almost house-esque. And Skepta's voice cuts through on a track so crazy. I don't think this song was better than the previous one, Victory Lap, but I think they feel like they go together. So I have a feeling that a project is coming. As Skepta has started to release music, as someone fairly new to UK rap, at least within the last 4 years, I would say, I've grown fonder of Skepta's music. I understand why he calls himself the alpha and the omega. He calls himself the GOAT. And as someone who's been diving into this recently, I can't really disagree. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed this song and everything Skepta has put out within the last year. Flames. He hasn't missed in the last year. So if you're looking for more Skepta or you're trying to get into UK rap, I would jump into that. This project is about to be crazy. And I will say this entire new music segment is strictly UK UK based. There's some Afro beats artists in here, but it's strictly UK based. Second song I have coming out, Pay Me, Odumodublvck, Stormzy, Zlatan. 3 of my favorite rappers recently. Zlatan hasn't every song I've heard from Zlatan is either it's a feature or it's a collab. He low-key be skating on songs, I'm not gonna lie. But Odumodublvck and Stormzy were not 2 artists that I expected to hear together. But it makes sense in my head. Odumodublvck and Stormzy have like a super deep voice. And so I feel like on certain tracks, especially tracks that may have like a lot more melody in them, they kinda kill it. They kinda kill it, and so this is definitely something that will continue to be in rotation and definitely make its way into my Serato. I like how Odumodublvck has this deep voice, but he continuously tries to do, like, melodies and sing and stuff like that. He's not the best singer, but the juxtaposition or the contrast of it is kinda funny to me, and it just works. And the last song I wanted to mention very quickly, Prayer by LeoStayTrill. I can't lie, a lot of the artists that break on TikTok haven't been my cup of tea, but LeoStayTrill has not really missed with any of his singles since he came out. The first song I heard of his was, Honey Bun. That song was hard. That song went viral pretty early. I wanna say it was last year or the year before that. And then he had the song Twos and Threes, which was a sample of that. If you gave me a chance, I could take. Who was that? Who is that, bro? Clean Bandit. I don't know who Clean Bandit is. Pop rock esque, but to put the tap, 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 put the drill beat on that, he killed that. But this song that he put out this week called Prayer, I would say going through his catalog and looking through, this is probably my favorite song that he's put out. LeoStayTrill is a UK artist with Zimbabwe roots. You know, shout out Zimbabwe, shout out to the homies. You know what I'm saying? But I would say LeoStayTrill is one of my breakout artists of the last 2 years. I think next year that's what we're gonna do. New artist of the year, new artist of the era. I don't know, but I think in this saturated music era, a lot of artists come and go, but there have been some consistent new artists that I feel like are worth noting. And Leo Satro is definitely on that list for me. Spotify is adding a DMs feature, which how do I feel about this? I understand it as a business from a business perspective, right? A lot of these content platforms, because music is content, they want to keep you on the platform as long as possible. And the reason for that is because they want to advertise to you as many times as humanly possible. Will I be using this DM feature? Probably not. I send a lot of music to a lot of people, but trust, I will not be DMing them on Spotify with singles or songs or playlists. I'm still gonna text it. So I don't know who's really gonna utilize this, but it is a new feature. And then I did see somewhere else that they're gonna have like a mixing feature, like a DJ mixing feature. That sounds interesting to me for a lot of reasons, right? Being somebody who's learning to DJ, learning the programs, downloading music, creating crates, organizing music, the platform is making it easier for artists and DJs to like mix directly on the platform is interesting to me for a lot of reasons. So if that update does come soon, expect me to be on here talking about it. Another thing I wanted to mention, there was a list that came out a little while ago talking about the most listened to artists on YouTube or the most monthly listeners on YouTube. And I think that we should have paid more attention to that list. These platforms don't really tailor to non-westernized markets. And when I say that, it doesn't mean they're not allowed in certain markets, but it means like Spotify is not the biggest music platform in Africa, for example. It's not the biggest music platform in Central America, for example, or in the Caribbean. People use it, but it's not the one that consumers tend to lean to. But YouTube is a global platform. Like billions of people use YouTube. I just read another article that says Spotify will not be able to reach 1 billion users in the world. And that's for multiple reasons. But that just goes to show like the way that we gauge music outside of like how it actually sounds is super skewed, and the platforms are trying to make you feel better or worse about another platform, if that makes sense, right? So when you see like monthly listeners on Spotify, when you see even music sales, I feel like that skews the perception of the casual listener, right? Like if you see an artist has 20,000 first week sales, people don't take into account that usually that number is just in the US. So if it's an African artist, if it's a British artist, if it's a Caribbean or a Latin artist or something to that degree, we're only talking about how many people listen to their project in the US. And on top of that, the way that streams are counted for album sales, like 13 streams equals one sale. And so think about that. 20,000 listens is closer to like, I gotta do some math real quick. 120,000, 260,000 listens, right? And that's just in America. So think about that. You got 260,000 listens in America, not counting the rest of the world, and people like sniff their nose up at that. I think not that's not a good way to push new artists out to the forefront, right? I'm gonna get to this list real quick just to show you what I mean by the YouTube stats, but I think it was interesting and something that we kind of skipped over on here. Here, we're gonna ask ChatGPT because all these lists are giving me weird numbers. So ChatGPT has given me two lists: the top 10 artists on YouTube by monthly audience, and then the top 10 Black artists by monthly audience. And I put African diasporic. So any Black artists everywhere, right? So we're gonna start with the first list. At 10, you got Peso Puma, 9, Carol G, 8, BTS, 7, The Weeknd, 6, Taylor Swift, 5, Rema, 4, Rihanna, 3, Blackpink, 2, Rose, and 1, Bruno Mars. This list kind of makes sense to me. I'm not gonna talk too much about this list. The next list is where this gets interesting for me, right? And I'm going to tell you at the end which ones I believe and which ones I don't believe. And in the comments, I want you to do the same. The top 10 Black and African diasporic artists by monthly audience. Number 10, SZA at 125 to 136 million. It gave an average, a rough estimate, because you had to do like video and audio together. 9, Drake with 130 to 135 million listens. 8, J. Cole with 162 million. 7, Nicki Minaj with 187 to 197 million. 6, The Weeknd with 251 million. 5, Kendrick Lamar with 269 million. 4, Dr. Dre with 271 million. 3, Rema with 307 million. 2, Rihanna with 311 million. And number 1, Doechii with 332 to 335 million listeners. Let me tell you what I definitely don't believe. I do not believe Doechii streams more than any artist on this list. And I love Doechii. Doechii is one of my favorite rappers. I do not believe Doechii is doing damn near 3 times as many streams on YouTube as Drake. And if she is, that goes to show the button being pushed on Doechii and the button being turned off on Drake. Because I also don't believe Drake to be doing less on YouTube than J. Cole. I don't know if I believe the J. Cole one. Now, the ones on this list I'm unsure about. Rema to me, if Calm Down was a really big record, Calm Down was it was a hit. You know what I'm saying? So I could see that song being streamed everywhere. Every single country in the world. I could see that. So if that song eats into the majority of his listens, I could believe that. Rihanna is Rihanna. So number 2, I'm not mad at it. But Kendrick Lamar doing twice as much as Drake, I don't know if that's a trend thing. It's just like the era because of the run Kendrick's been on. But I find it hard to believe Drake is 9 on this list. I don't know. Doechii to me is just disrespectful. It's like a slap in the face for her, for them to think we believe this. Because let me tell you, there's like, Alexa, how many people are in the United States?
In 2025, the population of the United States is 347 million people.
Bruh, do we believe Doechii is streaming the United States every month? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. That's crazy. Looking at this list now, I think that's nuts. But definitely something to think about. Let me know in the comments if you believe any of this. I'll leave y'all with 2 songs of the week this week. What have I been listening to? Okay. I was gonna give you LeoStayTrill, but I'm not finna do that. Kal Banks. I'm gonna come in here and talk about the Kal Banks project for real next week with Antonio. But the Kal Banks project was legit. It was legit. I've talked about Kal Banks for years, and for his first project to be this good, and it had 2 discs, and I honestly liked both. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's telling. So the song I'll give y'all is "Back It Up" by Kal Banks, Sir, Childish Major, Guap Dad 4000. I think that's all of them. Yeah. Yeah. So Back It Up, Kal Banks, Sir, Childish Major, Guap Dad 4000. And then what else I'll give you guys this week? I'll give y'all a quick freestyle. Kidwild, UK rapper. The song's called Victory Lap. It was a freestyle he did that came out a couple months ago, but I just heard it today.